G'day guys and girls, Kieran French here back. I don't know if it's back, but I'm back here with a video. Today is the start of my build series. So today's video is about the blue thing that's behind me, the thing that I've been posting about so much, my Gq Nissan Patrol bonnet that has an XR8 bonnet bulge on it. That thing. I don't know what it is with me talking, but I seem to start wanting to cough. Pain in the ass. Build series, you're probably wondering like, ooh, I'm seeing heaps of them going on, what's going on there? This build series is pretty much to showcase what I can achieve, and if I push pretty hard, I can accomplish some pretty cool stuff in my life. These videos I've always wanted to try and, as usual, I sit here, the dog wants me to play. God damn dog. The thing behind me was just the start. To show what I can actually do. You're probably going, yeah, that's all well and good, but what's that behind you? This was off a Gq Patrol that I bought, and I had an XR8 bonnet bulge, and that was actually meant for my mini truck. I'll put a thing here because I had or still do have a 2JZ with the manualized auto going to be swapped into it, and I've always wanted to have like a subtle bonnet bulge on that car, and for the Hiluxes, they look really nice with an XR8 bulge. I was considering going down the route of getting a 79 series bonnet bulge, but it seems that everyone, the man, their dog, whatever you want to call it, they all do it. I didn't want to do that, and as I had it spare, I thought why not put it on the Patrol, see if I can create something pretty cool, a bit unique, and that's where it sort of sits right now. It's not as aggressive as most of them, as you probably see out and about. For me, this was a massive thing, get my understanding of how to weld, fabricate, design, all that kind of fun stuff for me to then attack the Gq. So along with this, I have learned a lot of lessons. One was my welding skills. Don't get me wrong, I do somewhat know how to weld. I'm not a welder, but that's the thing about where I am in the shed. It's a project space, it's somewhere where I can actually learn and understand and search, research, get everything sort of dialed in so that I'm comfortable with my welding and the way everything's sort of going down. For this bonnet, I had to use a couple of things to try and get it on and get it all nice and pretty for pretty much paint. So halfway through this bonnet, or pretty much as we started the bonnet, I started to use it. I got a couple of tacks on where I had the Clecos on. The welder just sort of couldn't kaput. I was like, shit, I really need to get this done. So behind me, I don't know if you can see it in the corner there, I had a gasless welder. Probably the worst thing I ever bought. For the DIY space, as someone that has no idea about welding and wants to get into it, definitely works. You can use it. Got the job done. It worked, but at the same time, I wasn't happy with it. So I went out, bought the new welder, I put some new tacks in, and it held in place, put all the Clecos off. Had a couple of tech screws in just to hold it in place as well. And then we started pretty much attacking some grinding, some bog or filler, whatever you want to call it, car filler. Trying to figure out exactly what I needed. So I went to my local super cheap auto in Frankston. I'm always in there. Every time, get down. Thank you. So yeah, you're probably wondering, you can hear the birds and you can hear Spike walking around in circles trying to find his toys. I haven't got a mic yet. It's something I need to put on my list of stuff, but at the moment I cannot afford it. So this is how it's going to be for the time being. I'm very sorry. All the stuff that you can probably see behind me, I've either got through Super Cheap Auto or I had laying around. As you can probably see in front of you, the gun there was my dad's. He has lent me to get this sort of underway. I used a 1K primer. Both a putty, I think it was a primer putty and a primer filler, which you can get from Super Cheap Auto. I originally bought cans just to see what it would come out like. Cans pretty much, here's one, went really well on coverage with cans. The primer putty, when you shook them in the tins itself, the putty sounded thin and the filler sounded a lot more thicker. I must say it was a massive learning curve for me. 1K primer is probably not the best idea for getting something like this, which is a very rough, hard four-wheel drive, being driven obviously on a four-wheel drive. This bonnet, so it had some big gouges, some big massive dings in it. They had some imperfections. So it did take me a long time to try and get to where it is now. That means obviously grinding back all my welds where I could, so it was still nice and flush. That didn't look like I created a crater where they joined. Any filler spots, I had to bend the corners out as they were bent fully in, back had a big ding in it. There's lots of little stuff and imperfections I needed to fix up before I could either throw some paint on. The putty filler is supposed to be as a filler that fills in those imperfections that have like little scratches or whatever. 1K primer, probably not the best thing to use. If I was to ever do this bonnet again, but I'm going to do the If I ever do the bonnet again, I'll definitely consider spraying it in a 2K primer, but finish eating this. It's really nice. If you don't know what they are, sour peach love heart lollies, my favourite lolly in the world. I'm about to attack the car. I'm still considering re-spraying this bonnet. It does look a little dark for my colouring taste that I actually wanted. I guess that's the process of elimination. I've been looking for this colour for a while now. I had 3 or 4 different colours. They were too light, too dark, way too light, way too dark, and that was just a mix up. So this is meant to be hydro metallic blue. I think that's how you say it, or the colour code is PBJ. It is off the new Dodge Ram, off another car, off the new RAV4s. It's that cyan, I'm pretty sure it's called, colour. So that's what I'm sort of trying to get the car into looking like. Downside about blue, very hard to spray, as there's so many curves and lines. If you don't get the base or any of the imperfections done right and correctly, you'll see it. It's been hard, and I mean super fucking hard, excuse my language. This is the bonnet. This has taken me 5 weeks, don't get me wrong, I still work full time, so I only try and do it on the weekends, and my weekends have been pretty busy, so it's taken me a lot longer than I expected, which sucks. I think that's the thing for me going in the future. If I can continue creating this really cool build series and I enjoy it and I'm still passionate in taking this content video for you guys, hopefully one day it might change and I won't be working full time and this will be my full-time gig. The filler was a putty. It didn't work very well because it's a 1K thinner primer based paint. When you say that, I think it was 50 or 20 or 10%, I can't remember the percentage you put in of thinners to paint ratio, far out. What happens is when you spray that on, the thinners evaporates, which then sinks into the crevices, which then gives us that indentation that there is a big scratch in it, which was shit. The difference with 2K primer, when you spray it on, it's a lot more thicker and it sort of like builds up a layer, and then you can obviously rub it back. I think it was 5 layers of the putty filler on. I know, I mean, they were thick layers. You need 3 layers of the primer filler, which is this one, not in a can, in a proper gun. That means spraying, letting it cure for a little bit, rub back, spray, rub back, spray, rub back, pretty much all the time. Once we got it to a position where we were happy with it, we put our first layer, and I had a spray can that they mixed up for me. This pretty much is a dust coat. And we were like, okay, that looks pretty cool. We hit it with the first proper layer, and then a lot of imperfections come out, and I was really upset how it came out. And that's because, like I said, I'm not a painter. I had to learn from these mistakes, and that was the base layer and the bog. What happens is they react with the thinners. The curing process for the bog itself, or the car filler, reacts, and it doesn't allow it to settle properly, which then gives us our streaks or lines or imperfections in the bonnet, which I could see. And I was sitting there going, no, what is going on? We rubbed it back, wet and dry, did it again. This is the 5th coat or 6th coat it's currently got on it. It's currently sitting on a base coat, has no primer. To reactivate this base coat, pretty much you spray a layer of thinners, not a lot, but enough to activate the paint again. Then we'll put a coat of clear on it. We are currently rubbing it back down one more time. There was some craters, I would say. They were pretty gnarly, and some in the corners where I was spraying, it was dripping. That's what happens. It's a paint job. Like I'm not going to get it perfect the first time. I'm not a qualified painter. We've got, I think it was 4 or 5 layers of putty, 3 or 4 layers of primer filler. Then we also have 6 layers of a base coat. This is the base coat. This is how it's currently sitting. Once I'm happy with it, we'll reactivate that base coat and we'll put some clear on it. But I am considering changing the color because it still looks a little bit dark. I haven't put it in the sun yet. It's been in the shed pretty much the whole time, but it does look pretty cool, and I've always had a fascination with blue. I don't know why. So the whole car is going to go this color. I mean, the whole car. It's going to be a pain, a massive pain. Everything that's on it, it's currently got a Raptor hood. Well, obviously it's being removed. It's got Raptor guards. It's got Raptor bar work. It's got Raptor roof. That's all got to come off. The blue that's currently on it is a plasti dip. It looks fantastic when I did do it. A couple of trips down and it looked absolutely horrible. It started to peel off because it was a plasti dip. One side now is white, the other side is blue, with some artwork that I would say, topography, which is what I'm actually qualified in. I'm a qualified landscape architect. And the lay of the land has always fascinated me when it comes to what I am qualified in, and obviously outside of work. So I've always wanted to have some type of cool graphic down the side that represents who I am as a person and why I chose what I do. So yeah, it's going to be a massive overhaul for this car. And I mean, the whole car is going to be sprayed in this one color. A lot of effort and time is going to go into try and get it pretty straight as best as I can. And then once that's sort of done, I'll be using a Raptor in a tintable base, any of the kick door panels, so where you drag your feet through the door, maybe my door jambs, a couple of little things here and there that will be color coded. Black Raptor in the inside of the guards, on the diff, inside the chassis rails, whatever I can to make it a lot more durable. And then along with that, I'm creating a custom winch bar with a friend of mine who has a really good setup in his shed, and we're doing a custom rear winch setup. So there's a lot of stuff going on with this car. Once I've sort of done this bonnet and it's all in clear, we'll be flipping it over. I will be Raptor coating the underside. I may consider doing it in tintable color, I'm not too sure yet. I still need to put in my window wiper washer sprayers. Most cars come with a 2. I'm gonna probably put 4 in. I'll give you, if you like, I'll give you a quick walk around of the imperfections that I can currently see. This is the base coat, 5th coat that's been on it. I'll show you some of the paints that are right up the back, what I've used, the gun that I used, my compressor that my dad has lent me, which is really nice. And just like a quick overview of the bonnet. This is the start of a series. Each episode, whatever you want to call it, will be dedicated for that one thing. There's going to be a lot in this build, and I mean a lot. I don't have a lot of money. I'm going to try and do it the best as I can, and as best as I can. And then that means I need to sell some stuff that's in my shed. That's what's going to happen. I've been saying this for a lot of people who keep asking me why I still create content. I've never been so passionate in my life to be able to do something like this. I do love taking photos and videos, and being able to create something in my shed and then be able to showcase what I can actually do would be pretty sweet. Along with that, I said to my dad, as he's the person that sort of drives me into where I am today, I would love to try and get the chance to one day bring one of his hot rods in, and him and I are creating a car and maybe taking it to the Summer Nats or something like that in years to come. So these are our build series. Along with these build series, we've got GQ, which is Flick U, as everyone knows, which is going to be a massive series going on there. We've got the GU, which is going to be Brooks' car. I may consider painting it. This is what I mean, he just picked it up and now he wants to play it. That's the actual cap of the colour of the car. Give it here, please. Yeah. You're right. No, thank you. Along with that, once both cars are done, I'll be looking into getting the trailer into a position where I'm happy with. Once the trailer is done, there'll be my first original car, my pride and joy, the thing that I've always loved, got me into where I am today, and that is my bagged 93 dual cab Hilux. I really love to try and get back into that, and that was my passion that when I started and I got my license. It was my first car, and I'd love to try and get that back on the road in a condition where I'm happy with and showcase worthy, where I can do my Sunday driving with my partner and my dog and just enjoy life. So yeah, we've got a massive series going on. It's going to be a pain. I'll do my best, ever so much best, to create content from YouTube, TikTok and Instagram, do my uploads, whatever else. I won't be doing any major trips anytime soon. I'm hoping to get the GU on the road very soon, so that we can still go away if we would like to, but my time and effort is going to be pretty much working on the GQ. Yeah. I'm in both excited and very nervous to do this. It's going to be something pretty interesting if I actually finish and get the chance to get it off the drawing board and into real life. That'd be sweet. I'm stoked to see these awesome brands that have jumped on board with me. You'll get to know who they are and what I'm using them for, and coming into 2023, that's exactly where I'm going to go with it. So I just want to say one of them was thanks to Super Cheap Auto for actually helping me out with the colour. Azito's been a very big helping hand with this kind of stuff, with the lights. They're just behind me that helped be able to see my coverage and what's going on. There's a couple of little things here and there that I've been using in my adventure space, which I'll be using a lot more when it comes to us going away. There's some interesting parts going on, and you'll have to wait and see until I put them on, and I'll explain exactly who they are and the product and what I'm using and why I've used it, pushing the boundaries of what I know, my capabilities and my learning skills for the future. Need to get rid of that dove. Seems like they've made a nest underneath just above my car, so they've been pooping on it, so that's fun. So yeah, here's a quick little montage of what's been happening. I'll run through exactly again the imperfections that I can see and the things that I've learnt, and Bonnet, Series 1, what's going on? Pretty cool thing, and a lot more to come. I must say, downside, I didn't get the chance to really film this as much as I wanted to. I just sort of got stuck right into it. I used my phone as much as I could to try and create some type of reels around it, but I never actually had the cameras out like this and video recorded every little step that I did. But I did get a lot more done with not having to set up a camera every time I did something. Look, I hope you guys enjoy this one. Till next time, try to remember to always be safe, try to do some activities or adventures. This is my activity. You're about to see the Gq Nissan Patrol, aka Flick U, changed into something really cool. Until then, guys and girls, episode 1, bonnet build, what's happening there. Episode 2, stick around and find out, because there'll be a lot more coming your way. I'm not a professional, I'm just some guy that likes to do stuff in his shed. This has always fascinated me, the automotive scene, so it's not just bikes, I mean cars, go-karts, anything that has a motor. And this is the, pretty much the start of something really cool, and hopefully I can finish it off and you guys get to see it, the end product. I'm keen, I'm really keen. This is me, Kieran's Existence, and this is why I do what I do. What's happening? What's happening? Thank you, Brooke, for these. Appreciate it. I'm gonna eat these while I talk to you guys about Bonnet.